Hi, I'm Paula from On a String, and welcome to Beadesign, where beads meet bold ideas. Today, we're diving into shape play. Shape play is all around shapes and how they influence our beadwork. I'm going to go through some of my own designs today and show you how I've used shapes like triangles, squares, even pentagons in bead design. We're also going to explore the free printable guide that you can find at onastring.com.au. And there's also going to be a link here in the chat if you wanted to access that really quickly and easily. It's a free download from our website. The Shape Play printable guide is what I'll explore a little bit further, and I'll show you how we're going to use symmetry and surprise as ways of introducing shapes into beadwork. But before we get into all of that, let's have a look at some really simple ideas around shapes and how I've used those in beadwork. Okay, what I have here is some samples of different designs using shapes. So let's start by having a look at the really simple one of triangles. So these are a really easy pair of brick stitch beaded earrings that I've made. You can see the brick stitch components here, where the triangle shape of the metallic part at the top is represented in beads at the bottom. So a great way to show symmetry with that mirrored image of a triangle top and bottom, but beadwork actually influencing the shape of the metallic triangle at the top. Little simple drop, earring hook, easy peasy pair of earrings. Another shape, of course, is circles. So this design here, this is called the carousel pendant, and this is actually a tutorial available on my website. This one has three styles of circles. So we've got the donut shape here, which includes some ruler beads and some 4mm rounds. We've got a 14mm round cabochon that's been captured here. And then these little stop beads at the top, which are circles again, or little mini donuts that actually slide and hold that silk ribbon in place. So there's three representations of circles. The third one I wanted to show you today is, this is my snap, crackle and pop design. So this is lots of different shapes in here. We have a shield shape here from the little polymer clay cab, all captured with right angle weave beadwork here on the sides. We've got some round 14 mils. We've got little half right angle pieces here to hold those cabs in place. Little half pentagon here, which is part of the clasp and necklace. And then, of course, some little pentagon shapes that are the toggle piece that goes at the back here. So lots of different shapes in that particular design. But before we get into that, let's have a look at the printables. So the printables is our free guide that's available at onastring.com.au. And one of the things we're going to talk about with that today is symmetry and surprise. So I'm going to go through some of my own designs and show you how I've either used a symmetrical approach to them or an asymmetrical approach. So let's get into that now. But before I do, if you download the guide, there's lots of ways for you to actually utilize some of those tips in there, and also think about how you'd like to sketch out some of your own designs as well. Make sure you grab a copy of it. Let's have a look at symmetry and surprise. So symmetry, one of the things is all about mirrors. So if you look at this particular earring design, this is called Carnival. And so I'll just flip that the right way. So the Carnival earrings here is a perfect example of a mirrored symmetrical design. I've got the brick stitch components again, which actually is the beadwork. I've got a metallic teardrop shape in the center. And then I have this concept of a mirror. So we've got orange on the inside here on both of those earrings. I've also got the green at the bottom and then the aqua at the outside. And of course, if I flip them that way, it again creates that mirrored effect. So again, we've got the it's like they're just looking in a mirror at one another. So that's the Carnival design, but a really great concept of symmetry. Another one would be centered. So centered means we've got a component right in the center here, and then we've got two equal components coming off to the side. This is my Treble Brilliance design, and this has a large 27 crown stone in the center, and then some 18mm rivolis at the side. But they're all being treated exactly the same way in terms of their edge design, and then they're, got that same sort of picot edge on either side, but a great way of a centered design. Another one would be a repeated component. So we've got the symmetry of triangles here. This is my Christmas cuff design here. And you can see all these little Christmas trees that are at the top here. But if I flip that over and show you the back, you can see all of those triangles that are there. And this is a brick stitch and peyote stitch piece that is all about Christmas. So it's nearly time to start wearing that one again now. And then if we wanted to have a look at a vertical design in symmetry, this is the concept of large through to small. So this particular pair of earrings use a whole lot of vintage crystals that I have and some beautiful enamel flowers here at the top, but we've got large at the top and then go through in size right down to small. And that's how we create that symmetrical look there of large through to small in those flower earring designs. Now, surprise. Surprise is all about asymmetry. So let's have a look at this particular design here. This one here is my chevron earring design. So these have a symmetrical and an asymmetrical approach to them realistically. We've got the symmetry of the colours in the same places. So I've got greens at the top, go through to blues, orange and red, pink and yellow. But the asymmetry comes from the arrows pointing upwards on this design or pointing downwards on this design. So when you wear these earrings, one faces one way and one faces the other, and there's the surprise element of those. Another way of looking at surprise is twisted. This one here is my freeform cuff, and this has got lots of the same little tiny elements of beadwork together, but no two elements are in the same place each time. So if I have a look at this a bit closely, you can see here I've got sort of the gold and purple here and the gold and purple, a little bit of gold and purple up here, but they don't look exactly the same. I've also got little bits of these sort of hexagon shaped beads, I suppose they are, little nut beads that have been stitched on. But again, they're not repeated in exactly the same way each time. So there is an element of symmetry in terms of colour and the little tiny beaded stitch techniques that I've used, but they're very, very different because of the placement. No two pieces are exactly the same way. The last piece on the asymmetrical view would be a rotated look. So if you have a look at this one, this is my El Deco design. This actually has these triangle components that have all been rotated to actually create another larger style component. So you can see here I've got an elongated triangle here, another two that are a little bit shorter there, and then I've got some more triangles here to create these side components. And last but not least, there's another triangle there that creates that toggle piece as well. So there's some exploration of symmetry and surprise. Now, of course, shape is all about different colours and components. And one of the things I wanted to show you was my bead station boards that I've actually got here. So the one that I'm actually using here now is my desk board. But Bead Station is a really great revolutionary design that we have here at On a String. So the board in itself has some some removable inserts. You can change the mat on your bead board really easily. It comes in 6 shapes and 7 different colours, and it's available at onastring.com.au. So make sure you check that out as well, and particularly whilst you're grabbing your copy of your free printable. And of course, if you haven't yet, make sure that you like and subscribe at On a String. I would love to see you here next time when we do one of these little videos. Looking forward to continuing the bead design process and showing you different ways to use beading in your design work. Thanks very much for coming along today. I'm Paula from On a String, and welcome to Bead Design. Bye for now.